How is everybody doing today? It is May 12th, Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Um, so I took in the morning a couple of trades on RMED here. We'll go ahead and jump right in to the trade review. So as you can see, some really good opportunities to buy dips on the trend right here. However, overall trend sentiment based on the big picture was trash. Look at this. And I mentioned it yesterday, actually. Excuse me, when I talked about when the 10-minute chart looks like a barcode, I hate that. I hate it. It's typically a pretty bad sign. And I remembered yesterday in my review, I mentioned that. And today, as I saw it take place, I said, you know what? Yesterday I talked about this. I don't like how they look. They barcode and then they sell off. And sure enough, did the exact same thing as whatever ticker that was yesterday. I can't remember. But I even posted in the Discord and said, guys, I think it was CREC, CERC, something like that. Either way, I said, guys, this is an ugly chart. I don't like it. And a lot of people were like, damn, RMED really screwed me today because it just dipped and then kept dipping, you know, as people were trying to buy bottoms. And that happens. So thankfully, I traded it, I think 2 or 3 times. I was in and out. Real quick action on some really tiny scalps. And then I didn't touch it for the rest of the day. I actually did not have a losing trade today, I don't think. Let me think. No, I think I was green on all my trades here. I think so. Anyways, I did stream it again on Twitch. LHDX I considered taking as well. I never got a fill on. So 9 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. 9 o'clock, I said, damn, so it took me about 30 minutes. I said 5.5 down to 5.32. 5.5 down to 5.32. So this was the zone right here. Let's zoom in a bit. So anyways, I added in the zone. As you can see, I ended up doing descending bids. My stop was actually right down here. Why is this my stop? Simply because if it breaks through this level of 505, I know that it's no longer a higher low. I talked about, oh wait, what time is this? Yeah, I said it's no longer a higher low. Anyways, my PT ended up being 5.8. You know what? I want to make this a 1-minute chart really quick because I'm fairly certain that the time frame is a little wonky here. 9:05. Oh, I see. Yes. So I actually got filled. I know now. I was curious because I know that I took 3 trades right here, but I was only seeing 2. Yeah, so what happened was I ended up getting filled with this. As you can see right here, this low came to 5.5 exactly. So it filled me 1 order, turned. 5.8 was my PT here, and I immediately sold. Now, why did I do this, right? Well, first of all, the 10-minute chart looked pretty shit. Second, the stock was like up big. It had already halted. And I really expected it to fill this zone. I really expected this zone to end up getting filled, right? So when I got tapped in and it immediately went back up, I took that as I'll take that freebie. So I ended up taking a 30-cent move off of 1 of 4 or 1 of 3 bids because I still anticipated it to come all the way down here. So I might as well sell that. There's no point in me getting tapped in right here, holding through this, when I can get tapped in here, sell. If I anticipate it to come back down, just re-put that bid, and I basically just get that move for free. So that's what I did. I sold on that quick pop. Now, right now, I said this in Discord, and I think it's very, very important. What I'm doing right now, and it's helped me become much better in this current pop and drop setting that we are in, is I am selling on the pop, no questions asked. So if sometimes it doesn't reach my profit target, sometimes it goes through it, sometimes it's a big rally, sometimes it's small, but I sell on the pop at least half of my position, sometimes all of it. Depends on, what my position looks like, what my entry looked like. But let's say, for instance, that I bought right here, which I did. I got filled right here, and then it popped up through there real quick. I sold in full, right? Let's say I held half. I sold half at 5.8 to give me a chance to go up. As soon as it comes back down, I'm out. I even said this on my Twitch stream. I said, if it comes back below this level, I'm selling. And the reason for that is because, it's very knife heavy right now. It's very, failure of move, sell off all day right now. I'm not giving the stock a chance to come against me. And it's just kind of the preservation mode that I have to be in right now. And that's okay. The best way to do this is to sell half and then set a stop loss higher up than your entry. So for instance, I was in at 5.5. I sold half at 5.8. I moved my stop loss to, 5.75 or whatever, so that if it did come back below 5.8, it immediately stops me out right there at 5.75. So I'm kind of manually creating a trailing stop. So as I scale out, I move my stop up higher. As I scale out more, I move my stop up even higher. So I don't give price a whole lot of chance to come against me. I did that a lot of today while I was trading on mobile. And that really, really protects me from the, sometimes price, you'll see it surge up and then immediately crash. Like you can see right here, it went boom, and then it got absorbed almost immediately. You have to protect yourself against those because it's a very prominent occurrence. So anyways, yeah, I sold on that pop. And then I said if it comes back below 5.8, I'm out the rest. And it did. And I was out the rest. So I ended up getting 5.8 total, which is fine, right? For free, right? It didn't really cost me anything because I got filled on one bid. I sold it, and then I re-put my bid right here. So that was one winning trade. Small, but it was a winning trade. You take those. 100% of the time, you take those. Price came down, and it filled my zone, right? So I got tapped in full. My stop down here, we've already established, that's about a 25-cent zone. So I account for that position size accordingly. Just like I preach with risk management. I risk 1% of my account. Whatever your account is, you figure what 1% is, and you take a position size so that the bottom of your zone and the distance to your stop equates to that 1%. It's very, very important. That rule and that methodology will keep you in this game. I promise, guys. It is so, so important to never, ever slack on that. Sometimes you're like, that's like 25 cents. I'm only risking $100 per trade, but I'll probably take 500 shares and just eat the $125 instead. You can't do shit like that, right? So if anything, go under. Be like, well, I think I can take 400 shares here and it'll be 110. So how about I just take 300 and risk 80, with the same stop or whatever. That playing it safe when it comes to risk management or being on the safer side will keep you in this game so much longer. It took me too long to learn that, which is why I try to get everybody else to adhere to that principle as well. You have to be super accountable when it comes to your risk management. Have a good risk management system. The one I have, I'm very fond of. What I just explained, that formula, and taking 5 $100 losses in a row that's immediately wiped out by one $700, $600 winner or whatever is amazing, right? Like that will keep you, that keeps you alive in this game, especially right now when things are rough. Anyways, now that I've had my little rant, I ended up getting filled in full. This was the 1% gap right here. That's the 1% rule. In hotter markets, I'll risk 2%. So, just keep that in mind. Right now, I'm risking 1. So this is 1% gap. I took a position size accordingly. Yeah, the move is coming against me. That sucked. It was 10, 15 cents from stopping me out. Sure. Right? But, I've already inputted my commands, my profit target, and my stop loss. So once I do that, right, why even sit here and watch and fret? I just needed to know whether or not I was in a good position to sell on a pop or scale in and out or what. That's it. The feeling some type of way while price goes up and down for 10 minutes. That's for the birds, man. I mean, like, it does me no good. Does me no good. So anyways, I watched this. It sucked to see it go against me a little bit, but I sat here, I played Pokemon Go on my phone or whatever. And then it came up here and it popped, right? It popped and it broke through VWAP all at the same time. And what do? Even if it wasn't my PT of 5.8, I said, all right, I'm out in full. And, on stream, I was like, yep, I'm out. I actually sold half at the break of VWAP. And I said, if it comes back under VWAP, I'm out the rest. And I was, just like we did over here. Then it came back down, fill my zone again. Pop, sell. I immediately sold. I got like 575 or something like that. I sold in full at this one, I remember. And then it came back down to fill my zone again. And I didn't take it this time, but I literally said in my Twitch, I said, dude, this dip got eaten up so quick. This is going to squeeze. And immediately went to high a day. After this hammer, after this long red candle that came down super quick, went right back up. I was like, dude, you could take a big position right here. Set your stop to like, 5.4 or something within the zone. And just have very, you could have a 5-cent risk on this with a huge upside potential just based on this action if you saw it happen live. I didn't take it though. I had already won 3 trades on the day. I was up handsomely, so I wasn't even attempting to. But I mean, it would have been a great move. So I did miss that one. But the zone got filled once, or the zone tapped me in once for a sell, got filled, sold second time, got filled again, sold for 3 trades within 20 minutes. On the same ticker, you could have had 4. You could have made, a whole day's worth of profits in 30 minutes off of just scalping these pops. Consolidate, pop. Consolidate, pop. You can make a whole living like that. And as soon as this took place and this rallied up, I said, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Moving on. We're not looking at this ticker anymore. Why? Because I came over here. I posted in the big Discord. I said, this 10-minute chart looks terrible. And then the rest of the day, it was lost cause after that. Pretty much from that point on, it just faded. And I was already long since out of the move. I exposed myself to none of that long-term risk. I was just taking the pops. Some people, they give me grief, or they don't give me grief, but they joke and they heckle and they give me a hard time. Some of my absolute homies about like, 20 cents or 10 cents or 30 cents or whatever. But, that's what I do. That's what I do, and I like to do it. And I feel good about, the way I do things. Because it fits what I like to do. And I will change it for no one. And I had a great day today, and a lot of people didn't. I think that most people in Discord had a red day. But, doing this keeps me safe. And although I might not be making a $1,000 day, I still made a good day. So I'm super stoked about how today went. Anyways, I ended up not taking another zone. Another trade until I went to work. Okay, and I took eyes. This one was a beaut. I actually took this one on my mom's account on Webull. I still owe her a little bit. Oh, you know what? Actually, so yeah, I wanted to talk about this one. Check this out. So obviously, it's easy to say in hindsight now, but while we were on Twitch this morning, I actually made this zone like at the open. So like way ahead of time based off this 10-minute body and this 10-minute wick. And look how that zone is. I ended up not even taking this trade because it was too close to the open. And I was like, well, my rule is if I'm already looking at something, I'm not going to take this. It was kind of a big sell-off. That's a long arch. So I made the zone just as a, well, let's see what it does. No position, but I want to see the interaction. And what a fucking move, dude. You could have taken a whole dollar move right there. Now, I would love to say that, yeah, dude, I took this move. I knew this. But I didn't. It was a really good zone, though. Missed opportunity, but, I told myself that I didn't want that action. Now looking back on it, what can I do to try to take advantage of these in the future? I could have set my stop realistically down here. Sure, that's 20 cents, and, I have to size smaller as a result, but, it gives me the opportunity to take advantage of this move while still maintaining a reasonable risk. This risk is based on some decent technicals. I mean, if this level caves, which was pretty much all the pre-market levels, then the downside is there, and your movement upwards. So I could have taken this with reasonable risk. Maybe in the future, that's something I'll consider. If there's reasonable technicals to base a stop that's not unrealistic, maybe it's worth taking that, even if it was a worst case scenario, I lose 1%. Best case scenario, I make, if you held through here, and in a perfect world, you'd love to say that you would buy here and sell here, of course. But I'm a scalper. I know what I do. I would have sold at VWAP. I would have sold at 6. So I could have taken a nice 40-cent move to a 20-cent downside, maybe even scaled out here and caught some of this, right? Because this consolidated nicely right above 6. Look at this. You could have made a zone from 6.6 down to this wick here. What you're going to see is right here on the 5, right here on the 10. You could have done 6 down to that wick. And look how you would have gotten filled on that consolidation. Just beautiful. Maintaining VWAP the whole way, and then it rips. So yeah, obviously I'd love to say, yeah, dude, I nailed that. I made the zone, knew it was going to happen, and I took advantage of it. But I didn't. I did not trade that, unfortunately. But that's okay, That's okay. It's nice to know that I was able to identify that move. My zone worked well with it, and that's dope. But unfortunately, I had chosen to pass. So I said, I'll take. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out where the fuck it is. There it is. At 10:09. So right up here. This is crazy, right? So 10:09. It's right here. We would have been in the middle of this candle. I said, I'll take eyes again. $6.38 to 6.3. Look at that, dude. It doesn't get much better than that. Remember, we're over here. This is what we see. Now, this isn't to toot my own horn. This is just to show you that, like, I know I'm a scalper, but you can call moves out ahead of time in advance, even if you expect to take them in an hour. And they can, as long as movement, trend, volume, and all that stuff is still, going well, it's okay for a move to take a while to set up. You'll see that I base these zones off of pre-market levels. One of my favorite things to do, one of my bread and butters, is I used pre-market high and pre-market consolidation level, pre-market resistance right here. You see at 6.3, excellent resistance where it consolidated. And I used the high and that resistance as my zone. And when you know it, I got filled. I actually didn't get filled on my last bid, which was the biggest, unfortunately. I got filled on 3 of 4 bids here. I scaled out half at the pop of 6.6. Damn. So a good 30 minutes later, my zone fills me after my call out. I was shooting for 6.6 first to scale. And then I was shooting for high of, oh no, I was shooting for 6.8. I remember. So the reason I was shooting for 6.8, right? The reason I was shooting for 6.8 and not high of the day or whatever is because this is a lot like what I talked about yesterday. One of my favorite moves, I call that the secondary high a day attempt, the FOMO high a day attempt, whatever you want to call it. We got a move, takes us up. We got a move that takes us up high day, right? We got a move that takes us up to the high day. Cool, beautiful. But then the next move, as it comes down and consolidates, people who missed out on this rally here are going to be like, damn, let's get back in. It's a higher low. We're consolidating in a good dip buy, and let's buy it, and let's try to push it to high a day. In most often cases, especially when the volume is descended like this, if the volume isn't as good or greater than the high a day run, then it's unlikely for it to go to high of day. Now, you can see here that the volume ended up being eventually higher than that. But at the time, this is what I was looking at, and this is the information I had to base my thesis off of. So anyways, it popped up, broke through the 20 here. Excellent strength. I was a little bit worried that this level would be a struggle to break through because you can see that there's an interaction here. You see some consolidation along that 6.5 line, or close to it. But it ripped through 6.5. And I said, oh, yeah, this looks good. You can see over here on the 5 that we got a beautiful reversal candle, a wick into the zone, which, I don't even need to say it anymore. You guys already know that that is the best thing to see. Beautiful wick into the zone to tap me in 3 of 4 bids. 10-minute chart, we're above the 20. We're above the VWAP. 5-minute chart, we're basing off of the 20 and VWAP. And we're consolidating beautifully. Rips through the 20, breaks that first profit target. I'm out in half. Again, what do? I raise my stop loss to right below the 20. So I ended up raising my stop loss. Oh, by the way, my stop loss was right down here. So that gave me VWAP to crash through. It gave me VWAP in the 20 on the 5, and it gave me VWAP in close to 20 on the 10. So that was a good area, a major level. Kept my stop 15 cents or so. Really solid risk to reward there, considering that I was shooting for 6.8. So you're talking 15-cent downside to a 50-cent upside. Those are really good odds in scalping. Anyways, it popped up, right? Boom. I immediately sell half at 6.6. I raise my stop loss to 5. I think it was 6.5 actually. I can't 100% recall. I was on mobile, so I didn't really call out if I'm on my computer, I'll try to be like, okay, I'm selling here. I'm moving this to here. I'm gonna do that. I try to give you guys the play-by-play so you can at least understand a little bit more. But yeah, I raised my stop loss to here. It kept going. And once it popped through, wicked back down. And I said, okay, I got my stop here so that I still make money off this trade no matter what, because I'm protecting myself from these quick downsides. And right now, you can see those quick downsides. They're coming. They're doing work right now. I mean, this is no joke. You see this on every ticker. These downsides come all in one big swing. It's a struggle to get up, and then instant downside. So again, I created that trailing stop kind of thing. I raised my stop up to above my entry. So I'm still making, 15 cents, 20 cents off that move. If I do get stopped out, I'm already out half. But then the rest of my position goes up and I sell in full at 6.8. I did end up missing a high a day rally because of that. But again, this information is all I had to base myself off of. Everything in this area is what I was looking at. I didn't see this candle yet, because that was pretty much after I had taken my position. And I was not about to risk the, resistance at possible high a day for the instant tank downside. I took my gains. I was very happy with that 50 cent, 60 cent move, or 55 cent move. You know, and I was not upset at all that I missed out on, you know, in a perfect world, you'd like to say, yeah, dude, I sold at the bottom, or I bought at the bottom and I sold at the top. But realistically, that never happens. And if you do, and if it does happen like that, then and you're a scalper, then that means you you probably weren't following your plan very well, or you know, or you thought the market was a lot stronger than it is. You know, sometimes in a hot market, you know, I'll add on these dips. If I'm already like right here, let's say hypothetically I had added down here, I'm in full. I scale out up here in this consolidation. It comes up, it comes back down to base on a previous resistance. It might add some more back there for another extended push. You know, and that's possible in a market where there's tons of follow through and you're not seeing, you know, knives and pop and drops left and right. But right now, that's you know, that's not how I'm playing. I'm taking my consistent, solid things that are guaranteed and right in front of me. I'm selling the pops, raising my stops up to protect myself against, you know, the rapid downside potential, and you know, and I'm finding a lot of success this week with this method. So that was actually all my trades today on small caps. I'm going to show you guys a Tesla trade I took today, simply because it was a banger, but no, mostly because it's a good example of how you can use the 2-5-10 system with you know, on the short side, on large caps, any of that. I actually got to figure out where it was though. For the life of me, I can't remember. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. So I ended up making a zone. So one quick thing about large caps: if the stock is trading below the 200, I'm only looking to take the stock short. If the stock is trading above the 200, I'm only looking to play it long. It's a very simple rule. It's why I use the 200. In small caps, the 200 is definitely less useful. The 20 obviously is much more useful. But you know, I've always told people I use VWAP, the 20, and the 200, and this is why. I trade a lot of large caps, and the 200 is a very, very easy way to tell me, like, is the stock in a downtrend, you know, big picture, or is it in an uptrend? So seeing that I was below the 200 on the 10, I said, I'm going to look for a short position. So I ended up taking right here, 608 up to 610. Oh, yes, up to 610 based on pre-market low. Yeah, pre-market's low. So just like you could use a pre-market high as a pretty solid level, you could use a pre-market low on the short side. I did descending bids just like I would with small caps, and then I set my stop right here at 612. No, I actually was lower than that. I think it was right here. Giving myself, you know, pretty. You know, it would have to cave through VWAP and the 20. You know, basically come up to this level, contest with you know, all this previous price action in order for it to stop me out. You know, I know it was 612 something, so maybe it was higher up. I can't remember. No, it was there because it was the wicks, the two wicks aligned. Yeah, it was there. Tight risk. I honestly didn't see the stock filling me in full anyways. And it didn't. It filled me at one of 3 orders. But boy, what a move. What a move. I ended up having my profit targets were here and 600. Now, as it immediately rejected, so we'll go over here. You can see right here, it immediately just said, brrr, and I didn't see a single green candle. So I was like, well, once it broke this profit target, I was like, tell you what, I'm going to hold in full. If it comes back against me below my profit target of 602, now we're already, what, $6 in the money at this point. If it comes back over here to the 603s, I'm going to go ahead and just cover there. Just like I was doing with the other tickers where I was saying you sell on the pop, you raise your stop up. I said I'm going to hold simply because I think it can go to 600. And I'm going to, you know, if it does come back against me, I'm going to sell and just take my gains, which were great gains at this point. But, you know, there was a lot of red candles here. One green candle before another red, and it went to 600. And I ended up taking a $8 move, something like that. Really close to an $8 move. It was only one bid, but, you know, if you take an $8 move on a large cap deal, I mean, that'll pay for your whole day. So that was an excellent, excellent trade. Excellent trade. Oh, yeah, yep, here I have it. I actually have the picture here I can bring up. So yeah, this is my zone. So here is my stop. So yeah, it was actually a little higher than I thought. My stop was this dotted line you see here. See, I got filled right here. Boom, 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 boom. Pretty much immediately, without any green candles on this 5-minute chart. Put me into my first profit target. I held. You know, there was nothing coming against me. It didn't even wick above this area. So I literally had no concerns whatsoever. Again, I raised my stop to like right where this wick was, 603 or whatever. Didn't even sweat it. Didn't even have to sweat it. It immediately went down even lower, and I covered at 600. You can see here. So that was a beautiful trade on a large cap. I mean, that's a picture of it. The exact time it was taking place. No bones about it. So I'm very happy with that move as well. Very happy with that move as well. What was I gonna? There was something I wanted to mention. Oh yeah. You know what? I was talking, or I was listening to a, like a little YouTube video or whatever, with a friend of mine is a big competitive poker player, and he's been trying to get me into poker. So I've been listening to like little videos about how to play poker and stuff like that. And one of the guys that was doing this poker video said something that really resonated with me, and I figured I would leave you guys with this because it makes a lot of sense. He said that, you know, emotions, and he's big. The guy who was in the YouTube video is a big psychologist. I guess he coaches traders and poker players and stuff, which is why I found the video interesting. But he says that there's actually a level of emotional stress that your mind gets put under before it actually starts to take away your other abilities' usefulness. So once you are under a certain amount of emotional stress or trauma, your body starts to instill more of like survival instincts and less of like critical thinking, decision making, and stuff like that. Your decision making actually becomes poorer, like it becomes worse, of no fault of your own or anything. It's a natural response. And, you know, a lot of what he teaches these poker players is, you know, how to identify, like just in day-to-day life. He says when he first gets a client, he says, I want you to just notice how you emotionally react to good news, bad news, things that are ugly, things that smell bad. Just notice how your emotional response is throughout your normal day to just really anything, and try to figure out why that is. And so I was thinking about it. And then the next thing he said, the reason that it's important to know when to distance yourself and take a minute, he said, the quote unquote, take a breath. I call taking a breath, you know, not just taking a breath, but stepping away, clearing your mind 5-10 minutes. He said, think of it this way. When have you been in a fight with someone you love, a spouse, a family member, what have you, and you've just been so mad at each other and in such a fit of rage that you just said something mean and hurtful, and just, you know, you just wanted to say something to get that person to make them feel a certain type of way. And then, you know, how long did it take? Probably 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, where you thought to yourself, dude, I would have never said that in any other situation. And he said that in and of itself is that emotional response. You don't even realize it, but it'll make you do things that under any other circumstance in any other situation you would have never done. So he says the important thing is to, you know, use that as an example, of course, but relate it to the stressful situations in trading and your career and whatever you do, and try to take the 10 minutes that it would have taken you to be like, damn, dude, I should have not said that. Try to take the 10 minutes before the incident takes place. So that's something I'm going to be trying to focus on this week, is when I see myself getting angry, I'm going to take a break before I act on whatever that anger is telling me, whether that be a revenge trade, whether that be chasing FOMO or something. watching a ticker go ballistic and being like, damn, dude, I cannot believe I missed this. I'm going to take 10 minutes and step away before I think, okay, well, maybe I can get in this. Maybe let me see if maybe I can just get in this for just a little bit. So I thought that was really interesting because I have, been in arguments with people I care about before and thought the same exact thing where I was like, oh my God. 10 minutes later, I was like, oh, wow, I can not. Sometimes immediately after I say it, I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. That was across the line. And it's important to try to identify that you're getting to that point and have that moment of clarity before you accidentally have that incident occur. So that's my, that's what I'm gonna leave you guys with. I thought that was super interesting. Something I listened to today. Thought it was really cool. You guys might think it sounds like a crock of shit, and that's totally fine. But I'll be dwelling over that tonight. Otherwise, I had a great day today. I hope that tomorrow is equally as good or better. I hope that everybody has a great trading day and rest of the week as well. And I will see you guys again tomorrow. So be well, everyone. Questions are always welcome. My DMs are always open. So holla at me if you got anything.